What are the 4 types of asset allocation? So for a lot of you, you've never leaned in to really learn, but you want to be wealthy and you want to be an entrepreneur. You've got to at some point just stop and consume an enormous amount of my content on this YouTube channel. Read the books. I've got 6 of them. Start with this one. I'm going to put this for free in the download and the link below, and make sure you read it. It's going to be a little bit about asset allocation, but then the detail of asset allocation is my 3rd book, the Wealth Cycle Investing book. So go grab that on Amazon or our Shopify store. Again, links are in the show notes below. So there are 4 kinds of asset allocation. We're going to get to those, but I want to talk in general about why most of you just kind of leave your investing money to chance or you park and pray. So we'll talk about that. Then number 2, we're going to go through the 4 different asset allocation groupings, and then you decide from there based on your money rules. And then how do you actually build yourself by learning? This is what I really want my clients to do, and I ask them to do. You build your asset allocation strategy based on the content in the Wealth Cycle book and the content I'm about to give you. So let's give a definition to asset allocation. A lot of you don't know it because you park and pray. You park your money with a financial advisor, pray to God they're going to do something with it. 30, 40 years later, you go, I wonder what happened. And through all the economic dips, and their story is, stay in for the long haul because, you're going to make it on the long haul. You'll make it on the turn back. And it's like, well, why'd you go down in the first place? So I'm going to give you a free software that I use as a gift again. Lots of gifties today is iFlip. iFlip runs through Folios. It's an AI-driven software. So you're really a member of a software, a subscription to a software. And then you pick the folios. You can do it like red oil, which is a whole oil and gas one. You could do a technology grouping. So that's what we use when we do the stock market investing. So here's what asset allocation truly is. Asset allocation is how you spread your money across different categories of investments to manage risk and manage returns and maximize your returns. The Millionaire Maker's Guide for Wealth Cycle Investing is just that. It teaches alternative wealth building. And it's not just about picking one asset or one winning class. It's about how do you diversify? How do you have money rules? How do you do due diligence? Because when you're in the alternatives, it requires you to do more at work. Call it activity, more work, more research. You have to know more. You're not just going to go out and buy a piece of property that you don't know how to do the even inspections on or even oversee any of that. If you just go to a REIT and go buy a REIT, that's just a stock, and if you lose, you lose. So you don't have a lot of work to do when you park and pray. The kind of investing we're talking about, if you want it to affect your taxes, it's proper asset allocation, and it is in the alternatives that allow you great tax structures. So one of the asset classes we're not going to talk about, and the middle class are famous for it, are the 401ks. So it is known for almost everyone who has a job to be offered a 401k, especially if they're with a large corporation. When I was with Chevron, I was offered their 401k. They had a massive matching program. We actually, through our coaching and mentoring program at the big table only, we will actually review your 401k. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Some of your 401ks aren't worth putting a penny in, even if they match at 2 or 3%. So you really have to have an assessment done by someone who is has a high degree of expertise in that category. So we can help you do that when you're a member at our big table. The other thing just around the categories is if you're all in one category, which I have a lot of clients that come and they're all in real estate or they're all in the stock market. Those are the two. Those are the 2 big asset classes that most people gravitate to because they're very easily available to you. You have real estate agents and brokers in your neighborhoods, and you've got financial institutes that'll take your money and put the money in the stock market all day long. So when you have those 2, I have clients that come in just all in one or all in one. And the problem is when the market crashes, and if you're all market driven, what are you going to do? We've watched that through 2008, 9, 10. That actually was a mortgage-based problem. So both of the industries got hit hard. So you want uncorrelated assets. So let's talk about that. Uncorrelated means if one thing goes down, you don't have a house of cards that's going to affect the rest of your entire portfolio. Especially those of you who are building a legacy estate, that's very different because you want to start building and compounding that while your kids are alive and far before your death. So let's go on to the 4 categories. Ready? Write them down. Write them down. Equity. So again, higher growth potential, higher volatility. A lot of times those equity stocks have dividends attached to them. So those are nice built in, more certainty in your return. Again, we don't do a lot of those straight to the market. I actually just use that iFlip tool that I just shared with you in our show notes. One that I have to mention is fixed income, because as people get older and they never learn this, they'll move towards bonds. They're going to move towards annuities. Potentially, if they have a little bit of our education, they'll move towards whole life, which is bankable. It's the infinite banking process where you can actually borrow against it. You still have a death benefit. So fixed is you're going to get lower returns because you want it fixed and you want the guarantee that it's going to last the rest of your life. If you plan earlier in your life and build up a bigger real estate portfolio, like in my case, I have a bigger gas and oil and water reclamation portfolio, and you build those over your lifetime, then you get the same result, but you get a better tax benefit. The next one, which is my favorite, number 3, is the alternatives. So that's investing in private equity. It's buying and selling businesses. So I've had RV parks. Land is one of my favorite because you can buy and flip land, which depending on how you want to categorize it, real estate can be really broad, but a lot of subgroups of real estate like RV parks and storage, all those are real estate transaction, but a lot of times people identify with them in the alternative investing areas, not just real estate. A lot of people think of real estate as just apartments, short-term rentals, Airbnbs, things like that. So however you want to categorize it, you and your tax team, and if you don't have a tax team, like read The Millionaire Maker, go through the gap analysis and call into our office, have a one-on-one appointment. Like we have the greatest tax teams. We have the greatest corporate structure. So we're integrated for a reason because everything you do with money has a domino. And you do one thing, you do one credit card wrong, it's going to have about a 4, domino impact to other things that you're doing. How you pay yourself as a W-2. That's critical to how you do that. Because if you pay yourself too much, you're going to get really rough healthcare run, meaning you're going to have really, you'll be $1,000 or more a month. So all of these decisions matter, which is why we exist. So while you're here, I want you to click the notification button. I want you to be here, subscribe, and share it with like at least 10 friends. You want to be in this conversation, and for you to watch my channel and then go out, say Friday night, and have a couple beers with your buddies or girlfriends or glasses of wine, whatever you're doing. You want to start having conversations with people who can actually hold the conversation, not you just say, hey, I just saw this great channel, I saw this great video, and I learned this one thing. Well, what if all 5 of you or 10 of you actually learned one thing? Now you have a much richer conversation about money, and then what are you going to do about it? And so what we want you to do about it is call our office and let us help you, because out there on your own, it's pretty rough. It's a scary place out there, meaning you have no financial guides. There is not financial education anywhere, but in the space of the guru self-help space. So I want you to read my Millionaire Maker, the Wealth Cycle Guide to Investing. It gives you all the alternatives. It gets you a whole chapter on risk assessment, money rules, due diligence. There's a whole grid inside of there of how do you do the 5 steps to due diligence. So you start doing it. Those of you who just want to start in real estate, start putting contracts out. Put in contract with a lot of contingencies. It's not that you have to close them. I need you to start understanding the process. A lot of you, again, are just so passive. You sit in the bleacher seat and you talk about the things you want, but you never do the things you actually need to do to have what you want. Last thing I want to talk about really quick is how do you build a strategy that works for you? Selfishly, come to the big table. I have had people become millionaires reading The Millionaire Maker and the Wealth Cycle Investing book and then target towards real estate, or they got the iFlip, or they just started understanding investments. I think it's a risky model out there. The safest model is to blend a return, which is do group projects. So if say 5 or 10 of you, you could form an LLC, you could go buy an apartment together. And then maybe a year later, you do another one together, or maybe you bring a different group in. But you want to partner with people who have already been there, done it, at least 5 transactions. You don't want to start from the beginning. Say that group of 5 or 10 of you are going to start from a dead start, and you don't even know what you're doing. That's risky. So make sure that you partner in. What helped me become a millionaire very quick in real estate is I partnered with a big group out of Oklahoma, and I brought them a big database because I had just sold thousands and thousands of cash flow games for the Rich Dad Poor Dad team. And I had a database of about 18,000 people, and a lot of them were accredited. So that was a huge value add. So that's the way I got a seat at the owner table to then become a millionaire buying millions of dollars of real estate. So don't do it alone. Partner in with people who have success, and you will win. If you have any questions about how to work this, how to get more involved in our community, this is our 26th year of doing what we've been doing in the integrated format. Can't wait to help you get your foundation straight, your asset allocation strategy straight, and then build the legacy plan. So go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL. If you have any questions, ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.